is up, everyone? Today we're going to be taking a look at my 2019 Alfa Romero TI Sport, and we're going to be doing a review on this car, coming up on 1 year ownership with it. So let's get right into it and check out the exterior. Alright guys, so let's get right into the review, taking a look at the exterior of the Giulia. In my opinion, guys, this has got to be one of the best looking cars ever made. And of course everybody's gonna have different opinions on it, but just the very Italian design that it has, the uniqueness of it, it really doesn't look like any other car that you can get on the market today, and it really just stands out from the crowd. And personally, for me, that's definitely one of my favorite parts about the car. So let's start with the front of the car. First, we have this big shield-like grille and these big, too aggressive vents on the front bumper of the car, which definitely give it a lot of aggression to the car. And we have quite a few different angles and whatnot. But at the same time, it's still very simple. It just gives the car a very unique, aggressive, yet sleek overall look. Then we have these nice long overlaying headlights, and you'll kind of notice that I notice this with other car manufacturers too, but they kind of keep certain designs, shapes, like this kind of an oval long shape. You kind of notice that shape throughout the car. For instance, like the vents down there are kind of shaped like that. These mirrors are kind of long oval shapes. The rear taillights are long and kind of have that oval shape. So you'll notice that throughout the car, and it just looks great in my opinion. It has a sharp and smooth look to it at the same time, which is something that I think is very hard to achieve, but Alfa did a great job with designing this car, and it's definitely one that you want to take a look at before you leave, and it just pulls heads everywhere you go, and it's definitely probably the biggest selling point of the car. Taking a closer look at the headlights, you can see we actually have Alfa Romero written in the headlight on the side there, and you'll see that in a couple different places throughout the car. And we also get a pretty cool starting light when we turn on the car or unlock it. So we get those nice welcoming lights, which look great. And then of course when the lights are fully on, this will illuminate here. So we get that. And for the rear, we get these, which got to be some of my favorite looking rear tail lights in general. Back to go into the just simple but very sharp looking. And this car is completely OEM. Everything is stock on this car. So moving on to the wheels. Don't make fun of me, guys. I know my wheels are pretty curb rashed, but just how I got the car. Alfa Romero has very unique wheels. The ones that came with my car are, you know, kind of more common than not, but we get these really nice yellow brake calipers, and just this factory option of the white, black, and then I guess really the only thing that's yellow is the brake calipers, but it just looks so simple and nice. It's just a great looking color combo in my opinion. Let me know what you guys think of this color combo, but I think this is a great color combo, and I almost even kind of want to put it in some of my other cars. I was thinking of doing some wraps in some of my other cars and whatnot. So alright, so of course a must is the tinted windows. The black on black with white just looks great here. And you can see with the mirrors, it's actually not black, it's kind of a grayish color. And then if we move to the roof, we'll see this is actually all glass. So this is a big panoramic roof. This whole piece right here will move up and tilt forward that is an option. So if you guys are watching this video looking into buying one of his cars and that's something you want, make sure you get that in the car that you get, because they do not all come with that. All right, moving to the rear of the car, we have pretty aggressive rear end. You can see they have little body marks like this that stick out, and you wouldn't really think much of it, but after just really looking in detail of the car, you see that it kind of just gives it more depth. And then we have a simple but very good looking exhaust system here. We just have two twin pipes back here, reflectors, which are kind of ugly, but overall looks pretty nice. You can see we got this big line. It might be kind of hard to tell, but there's a big line that kind of goes through right there and gives the car more of a shape. And it's really, when you put it all together, it's a mixture of all of these things that make the car look how it is. And they just did a very well job with it. Even just the side skirts. And this is, I mean, pretty much a base model. But it's still just an amazing looking car. And then going back to what I was saying with the shapes, you can see even in the fuel cap here, we have that shape. So it's kind of just a mixture of smooth lines throughout the whole car. All right, guys, so next part of the car, let's check out the interior. So first and foremost, I'm going to go over the key, as I would say this is kind of part of the interior. You might notice this kind of looks like similar to some Dodge keys. That is because Alfa is in, I don't know, partnership with Dodge, I guess, if you want to say. So the 2.0 T motor is a Mopar developed motor, whereas the Quadrifoglio motor is developed by Ferrari. So those are just some small things, but my point being of that is that the key is similar to a Dodge key. Still a very nice key. Probably one of my favorite keys in the market right now. Yeah, let's get right into it. Check out the interior of this car. And you'll see the first thing we notice here, close the door, we'll get this cool little opening screen when we first get in the car. And it's just some small touches like that that really make the car feel special, even for what it is. Of course, it's not nothing crazy for the price point. There's a lot of other cars you can get, but Alfa Romero has a way of making you feel like you're special and having very emotional experience with their cars. So let's start the car up. You'll also notice that the start-stop button is on the steering wheel. So something a little bit more unique than other vehicles. Something a little bit different there for you guys. And the steering wheel itself, we're on topic, is just a great wheel. It is a little bit light, but the overall design of it is just a great design. We have some buttons here on the wheel. There's a cruise control button. And then on this side, we have just regular buttons that you'd see on similar vehicles of the year. So just volume controls, radio controls. These control a couple different things, phone, etc. Now we're on this side of the car. Nothing crazy going on over here. We have a little side pocket right here for you to, you can't really fit much in here. It looks like I've acquired some trash in there as usual. But you'll notice actually in the side of the pocket, we have a little cup holder like rivet in there. So that can be beneficial for, storing drinks and what have you. Besides that, on this side of the door, not much going on. You have your lock and unlock buttons here, your window buttons, mirror controls, pretty normal stuff. Moving over here, we have just your basic light control buttons here. So we have a couple different lighting options here, which I always leave mine on automatic lighting, which is also adaptive. I believe that is an option. So if that's something you want, check to make sure that your car has that. The technology in this car, as you probably know if you're looking at buying one of these and you've heard from other people, feels very outdated. Probably by far one of the biggest disadvantages of buying one of these cars. To see with my certain model, I have this big old screen, but I actually only get this little part of the screen here, and it doesn't get much better from there. This car is a 2019, you know, and it does not have any touchscreen or any modern capabilities that you'll see in a lot of the competitor models. We have just what feels a very outdated infotainment center here. It does get a little bit better with the digital display in the middle. So right now, you'll see we're in dynamic mode, and every different mode that this car has will have some different options for what is displayed here in the middle. So we have this trip mile per gallon efficiency meter here, which is displayed throughout all three modes. But then in dynamic mode, you'll notice that we actually get a G-force meter, which is definitely one of my favorite things about the car. It's probably one of the coolest features they have in here. And then we have this mile per hour reader, which looks very aggressive and sporty. Also something that I definitely really like to see with the car. But besides the center infotainment center here, it kind of lacks a lot here. We don't even have a setting for maps. This does have Apple CarPlay. However, you have to be plugged in to use it. And if you're like me and you've upgraded to a newer phone, I actually don't even have USB anymore. I have USB-C, which is USB-C both ways. So I can't even use CarPlay, which is pretty disappointing. But besides that, there's really not that much in here, guys. You have your regular radio. Of course, we have Bluetooth, phone, car settings, which is just, I mean, your regular stuff that you would see, like tire pressure, maintenance, oil level. Really nothing crazy. No cool features here. Settings, I mean, we have some stuff in here like cluster information and what have you, but overall, yeah, it lacks quite a bit from that. So while I'm on the topic of the different drive modes, let's check out N, which I'm pretty sure stands for normal mode. You'll see you get a cool display on the screen, kind of changing what mode you're in, letting you know what mode you're in. And then we of course get the center infotainment center. And so on normal, we'll get a mile per gallon efficiency reader, your miles per hour, which is on each one, and the same one there. So every different mode will just have one screen that changes. On this one, I'm not even quite sure what this screen is, to be honest with you guys. I'll have to look into it. If you guys know, let me know. But yeah. Alright guys, going over the rest of the interior, we have these vents here, two vents here, which are the round kind of fancy display, which really don't work very well. And then we have a couple vents in the back, which are both also the round ones. Besides that, I think those are all of the vents that I am aware of. And then for our climate controls, this is one of my favorite parts about this car. They keep it very simple in here. Everything is pretty self-explanatory here, guys. So not much to say about that. All right, cup holder space is not that bad, to be honest, guys. The cup holder space in this car is pretty good, and we get a cool little tray here. If we don't want to see our cup holders, we can simply have it covered up. And my car's little piece right here is damaged, but you can see gives this whole infotainment center console thing here just look very nice. So you don't have any drinks, things look very nice. And speaking on this tray here, the color combination of my car is this nice wood trim, and it does feel pretty nice in combination with this leather. It just gives it an overall pretty good look of the car. We have some brushed aluminum here and there, and it's just a very nice color combo overall. Alright guys, pretty much covered everything in the interior. One of the only other things I guess there would be to mention is the seats. I have the non-sport seats, but they're still pretty comfortable. And we do get this pretty cool Alfa Romero logo stitched in on the seats. And it's just kind of a nice, nice touch to the car to make you feel like you're driving something a little bit more special. So that is something I appreciate with the car. And then we do get, not stitching, but kind of some rivets in the doors and some small stuff like that throughout the car that gives it more of a nicer appearance. We do get some stitching on the doors down here. So it is a pretty nice overall appearance. I'd like to see it a little bit better for the price point, but my spec is a little bit lower. So some specs will definitely be nicer than this, and you'll be able to tell that. Right guys, let's take a look at the back seats. So sitting in the back seats, pretty roomy, honestly. I'm about 6 foot. I got pretty long legs, and my seat is scooted back, and I still feel pretty comfortable back here, guys. And then we also get, you know, some commodities back here. We have a little cubby right here to hold water. Just a lock button, kind of funny. No unlock button, only a lock button. But we get a little speaker here at least, and we have window buttons here. We got some vent controls here, a singular USB port here, and then of course we have more cup holders right here. But quite a bit of room back here. Don't feel cramped at all. We also get our own little sun visor back here. If we want to open this, we can open this at our own terms. And then we also get little lights back here. So nothing crazy going on back here, but it's definitely nicer than some cars. And as you guys can see, this has been damaged. Not sure what happened there, but it was damaged. Guys, let's take a quick look underneath the hood before we go on our drive. So this is the 2-liter turbo, making around, I believe, 300 horsepower and about the same torque. Pretty simple design motor, nothing crazy. We'll get into it more when we get into the driving, but visually it is pretty appealing looking motor, and surprisingly there is quite a bit of room underneath here, guys. So if you're someone that likes to work on stuff on your own, it looks like it can be very doable. I know I like to do some stuff myself a lot of times, and it's, let's just say, not intimidating compared to some cars. They got a lot of room down here, a lot of room on the side, a lot of room everywhere, really, in general. All right, guys, let's move on to the fun part. Let's take it for a drive. Alright guys, let's see how this does. Testing out the new GoPro here. So yeah, let's put this in dynamic mode and let's go for a drive. Turn off our parking sensor, electronic e-brake. My bad. So yeah, driving the Alfa Romero. It's just around sunset time here. Beautiful Colorado. Get some good roads to drive on. I'm gonna try and adjust everything so that you guys can have the best view. But first thoughts, it's just a great fun car to drive. Definitely feels like a sports car when you want it to, but it's one of those cars that also does very well as just a regular commuter car. You can put it into in mode here, which I think stands for natural. I know D stands for dynamic, N for natural, and then A is for efficient, I believe. So we're in natural right now, just cruising along. Let's go to the gas station, get some fuel. And this car's pretty quiet too, but it makes pretty good noises with just some simple modifications. All I have on here is just the intake, and it makes a pretty fun turbo noises. I don't know if you guys can really hear that in the video, but pretty aggressive sounding turbo noises for just an intake. And you know, that just kind of adds to the fun factor of the car when it's easy to do stuff and it's cheap to do stuff to the car. At least for me, I know that that's just something I think about when I'm buying a fun car for myself. So got kind of a nice little runaway here. Pretty lag, and then we hit boost about 3,000 RPMs, and it's not crazy fast, but it definitely feels pretty quick. Braking as well, my brakes are getting a little bit worn down, but feels pretty aggressive for what it is. Alright guys, before we go on our drive, let's get a little bit of extra fuel points. Our full tank, I think it's around I think it's going around 400 miles. Actually, maybe it is 300, 350, 400 miles. So pretty good there. Let's put just 15 in, just to see for the video. See how much this gets us. BMW. Let's see. So that got us half a tank. 15 bucks, guys. Half a tank. And 170 miles till E, approximately. For something that's not even the top performance, how good a performance it has. I mean, it's by far, you know, not the only performance sports car I've driven, and it's got to be one of the best. And it's not just the handling and throttle response that makes it fun to drive. It's just, it just has this feeling when you drive the car that that you just, it just feels very unique, different from other cars. It's got a lot of character when you drive it, but it also does everything very well. I mean, I can be cruising pretty fast down the back roads without really having to try much, because the car is just does a lot of the work for me, and I could just be driving pretty regularly and look down and realize that I am, you know, going way faster than I expected, and that's just because of how great the car is at what it's doing. It makes you feel like a great driver. The chassis design of this vehicle is just, it's amazing. There's pretty much little to no body roll in the car. The brakes for this model are just what you need. It has everything that you need, and I would say nothing more but nothing less. It's just a very balanced overall car. Sometimes it is a little disappointing that they only make the Giulia in a 4-door and they don't offer a 2-door variant, but at the same time, the chassis design and everything of this car is so good. It's just, you know, why change anything?